Good morning. Charlie, that was beautiful. Thank you. You know, we're entering this sacred season, and it's a time of preparation, time of gratitude, a time of celebration. And we're invited to pause and to remember this, that Jesus made this simple yet powerful declaration. You are the light of the world. This isn't, you should try to be the light of the world. It's not one day you'll be the light of the world, but you already are the light. If you let that truth settle deep inside of you. It's not surprising that this season is represented by light. Look at all the decorations that we have that are light. The flickering candles in the windows, the Christmas lights on the house, on trees, along our streets, in our cities. Those really beautiful images of people sitting around the table, softly lit with a nice glowing light. That tradition of light is borrowed from what we know to be true. And that light symbolizes the inner radiance of the divine spark that's inside of every human being. That divine spark of creation, as you just sang to us, is a light that we cannot lose. It's a light that never goes out. We did not create it, and we cannot extinguish it. The Dalai Lama once said this as he was teaching his students. One candle can light 1,000 candles, yet those flames do not diminish the original candle that gave life to the light. What he was teaching and what he was explaining was the spiritual nature of light. The more we share it, the more it grows. That's the spiritual nature of the light that we carry inside. And guess what? The world around us is hungry. It's hungry for this light. And that light, it's not a sharp, blinding light that's like pressure and performance. It's not that at all. That light is gentle. It's the gentle light of human connection, of compassion, of peace. Being the light isn't about healing the world. It certainly isn't about fixing all of the people around you. It's not about ending world suffering. It's not meant to work in the grand gestures. And we know this. Light works quietly because it slips into the dark places. That's how light works. It's a gentle word spoken at just the right moment. It's grace being offered instead of judgment. It's the softening of your heart when at the moment it might be easier to be hard. It's a moment of patience during the holiday season. And it's taking that breath before you react. That's the hard one for me. But let me tell you about these small moments. They aren't small at all. These moments are the spiritual acts of light. Mother Teresa said, she's my favorite saint. I was raised a Catholic. Mother Teresa said, you may not have the ability to feed 1,000 hungry people, but maybe you could feed just one. And then she said this single act of light is everything. Today, there's this beautiful spiritual idea that I'd like to talk to you about. I think it's kind of profound, and I bet every one of you have already heard this. In any given situation, we can show up one of two ways, okay? And when I say it, you're going to say, yeah, I heard this all over, you know. In any given situation and interaction that you have with anybody, you can show up one of two ways. The first way is seeking love. You can show up in that situation seeking love, or you can show up as love. Those are the only two ways possible for you to show up in the world. Seeking love or as love. That's a pretty profound statement. When we show up seeking love, we're looking outward for approval, for acceptance, for reassurance, for belonging, for validation. When we show up as love, we come from this place of fullness rather than from a place of need. We get to inform our response to light from here, from our light. That's coming from a place of wholeness. Instead of seeking, we begin to show up to offer understanding, compassion, acceptance, joy, that's a big one, reassurance. And what we've done in that moment when we show up as love is we've shifted our perspective away from maybe defending our point of view, from defending our action, to maybe listening. We move away from judging to wanting to hear and understand the other person. And this is really prescient in the period of time we are in our history, in our world. We stop coming at the perspective of being right to allowing a new type of compassion and understanding for another person. This shifting of how we show up is dramatic, and it changes everything. It changes the energy of the entire interaction. Now, I'd like you to think about one of those difficult situations that you've had. Maybe it was contrast with a friend. Maybe it was this morning when you woke up and you didn't like your partner very much, your spouse. Maybe the waiter delivered the wrong meal. Maybe a driver cut you off on the way to church. Maybe a boss didn't appreciate you. In those interactions, you think about how it went. How did you show up in that interaction? I don't really care how the other person showed up, because guess what? You have no control over that. You see, we only have control over our actions, over our words. And our work to be the light is not to change anybody else. Our work is to shift our awareness, our perspective, and to remember the light that we are. I like to say that my world is about the 6 feet around me, but I'm going to say it's bigger today because you guys are all in it. And the only control I have is this and this space around me, and how I choose to show up. It's by my actions, my words, and my deeds. And how do we do that? This is about making a conscious decision every single day of your life to show up from your light and as love. Now, all of this sounds like really good, but how the heck do you do it? It's a struggle for me to remind myself every single day. Today I ask you to start by opening up our service by placing your hand on your heart and saying, you are the light, right? To recognize the light. That's a conscious act of bringing yourself into remembrance of who you are. Before I go into a situation I know that's going to be stressful or difficult, I stop. First, I shift the way I think about it. And then I place my hand here. I place my awareness and I say to myself, I say a lot of stuff, but I say, I am here to shine in this situation. I am here to bring presence. I am here to be the light. And I will tell you, when I stand and do that, man, my posture gets better. It changes my energy. It changes the energy in my field of influence. And it changes every energetic interaction I have in that moment going forward. Do you understand? This is our power. This is your power. It's your power. It's your power. All of us can do this, and we do it. Sometimes we don't even do it thinking about it, and it's automatic. Here's a beautiful paradox. When we show up seeking love, then those also seeking love show up. Think about that. When I need your approval, I bet you're wanting mine too, because that's what we start to attract. But when we show up as love, love finds us. That's our power. It's not because we chase it. It's because we radiate it from here, from our light, and then we attract it. That's how we are the light. That's the power of your light. That's your power. And that's within your control. You get to make a choice to do that. This season that we're in right now is inviting us to shine. The opportunities to embody light are all around us. And let me tell you something, we're coming into Thanksgiving holiday, right? It's a few days away. It's a stressful holiday. There's a lot of preparation. And I read an article recently. It said, Thanksgiving for a lot of people is the most anticipated holiday. And it is the most dreaded holiday gathering. And you know why, right? Are you thinking of auntie and dad who's going to disapprove, or the kid that's not going to show up on time, or it's the family dynamics. Here's the thing. All those old behavior patterns, they're set in stone, right? When you walk in that room, you know how people are going to react to you, and you know exactly how you're going to react back. It's also a time where, for a lot of people, grief, loneliness surface. It's not always the rosy, happy, glowing family gathering. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I met with a friend of mine to have coffee. And he was sharing with me that there was a lot of family dissension between he and his brother. And he was going to be going home for a funeral. And so it was really a very difficult time for his family. And his brother and he disagreed on, okay, you're going to be surprised by this, politics. Okay? One didn't like the other one's views, and one of them said to the other one, I disown you. You are no longer my brother. And now he has to go home and experience and mourn the loss of a loved one in this chaos in the family. I mean, this could be a Thanksgiving dinner that we're talking about, right? But here's what he did. He started to really meditate and reflect on what his part was of it. And he said to me, it was the energy I was putting into it, the energy feeding into the idea that there would be chaos, or that there would be some trepidation that maybe there could be some fisticuffs and some things like that. And he said, I decided that I couldn't do anything about all of that, but I could change my energy around it. And so he decided that he would start praying and thinking about the family situation as an opportunity for him to be love and compassion and to help guide his family through the loss of a loved one. And he said, Cindy, I got to tell you, I didn't know what was going to happen, but I showed up in that energy. He said, I walked in, and he said, the people that took side A were over here, and the people taking side B and my side were over here, and my brother was starting to walk forward. And he said, you could hear the room get quiet. And the brother came straight to him and hugged him and embraced him. Yeah. He said, Cindy, I believe it was because of the energy I radiated and put around that situation. Do you see, that is your power? That is our power. That is what we can do to transform events by putting our love energy into it and showing up as the light, as love. Yogananda wrote, as you radiate love and goodwill to others, the vibrations are picked up and returned to you again. Because, friends, light begets light, love begets love. When we shine our light, we help others to remember who they are. That's our power, coming from the light. These opportunities to show up as love. I love this, okay? These moments are the classroom of our spiritual growth. This is where it happens. This is where the light becomes real. This is where the light becomes alive. And you choose to do that. So I'm going to ask you, how will you show up this holiday season? Will you make a conscious effort to show up as love? Because it is a choice. Will you pause before you react? I gotta work on that. Will you choose compassion in moments of stress? Will you allow your light, because you are the light of the world, will you allow your light to lead the way? Honestly, these questions aren't meant to pressure you. They're meant to awaken us, to remind us of the tremendous power that we are. Jesus said, "Let your light shine before others." This means letting the divine light that you are express itself freely, without hesitation, without apology. Now, I've been in the spirituals communities for a long time, and some of you might be thinking, well, some of this sounds like maybe you're going to spiritual bypass and fake positivity, and it's not that at all. I don't want to ignore someone's pain. I want to be the compassion for them. And it doesn't mean I'm going to take down my boundaries, because healthy boundaries are loving me, loving myself. It means letting authenticity, compassion, and presence radiate from us naturally, because you are the light. All you do is let it out. It means we live from the inside space out, instead of letting all of the outside stuff dictate who we are in. It means taking that moment and breathing into our heart space and allowing our response to life situations come from this place. In closing, as we are preparing our homes for the holidays, I'm going to ask you to prepare your hearts. As you share a meal, share the presence. As we exchange gifts, exchange grace. Let's choose moment by moment to show up, not from our fear and not from scarcity, but from faith and fullness. Let us come not seeking love, but as love. Let's not hope for light, because you are the light. May that light grow brighter with every grateful breath, every compassionate act, and every choice to embody truth that has always been ours. And it's this: we are the light of the world. We are the love of Source made visible. We are the radiant present that transforms seasons, the world. Actually, come on, transforms everything. And so it is.